This week on Cruisin' New England. They were once as common as any car on the road. Today they live on with the collectors we will meet today. I'm Paul Manette, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Cruisin' New England. Today we're in Portland, Maine at the Northeast Studebaker Zone Meet. Hey, they haven't made Studebakers for many years, but today these vehicles are alive and well, and we're going to see them, all this and more, on Cruisin' New England. All my life, I've been cruising New England, meeting great people, visiting amazing places, and discovering wonderful classic and custom car collections, nostalgic automobilia, and so much more. Come on and join our adventure. I'm Paul Manette. Let's go cruising. Closed captioning for Cruisin' New England on Nesson is being brought to you by New England Recycling. Waste put to work.
This episode of Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette is brought to you by McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume Corvette dealer.
Hi, I'm Sam Grundy.
And I'm Jim Grundy. At Grundy Insurance, we've been insuring collector cars for over 60 years for millions of car guys.
What do you think the most important thing that we offer our customers is?
That's easy. Agreed value coverage and rates that are typically less than half of a standard insurance company.
But I want people to know we have unlimited mileage because I drive this bad boy every weekend.
I know you do. And there's so many other benefits with Grundy collector car insurance.
Give us a call or visit us at grundy.com today.
Find out what's happening. Get up-to-date information as I travel throughout New England and beyond. To get exclusive information and behind-the-scenes photos, join me on Facebook. Hi, I'm Paul Manette, and I want to tell you about my new book, Collections American Style. I've teamed up with Berkshire Hills Publishing to create this beautiful full-color limited edition book. It features hundreds of full-color photographs, collector profiles, and historical tidbits. You'll see some of the finest automobile collections in the country, and memorabilia from The Wizard of Oz to the world's largest Kodak camera collection. Reserve your copy today at cruisingNewEngland.com.
Make it McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume new Corvette dealership.
While cruising New England, check out McMulkin, where there's always 250 new Corvettes to choose from. And a large selection of rare vintage classics, like this 1967 427 Tri-Power Corvette, or this classic 1969 Z28 Camaro, to a 1962 340 horsepower Corvette. Check them out at McMulkin.net.
The Thompson Auto Group.
We're on our way to Portland, Maine. From the looks of it, so are a lot of classic Studebaker owners. I'm here with Paul Shuttleberg. Paul, tell us about the event today.
This event is for Studebaker and all Studebaker-related vehicles for all of the northeast area of the country, plus the Atlantic Maritimes. So we come here basically to have a good time.
So this is not a real serious thing. It's kind of a laid-back weekend?
Yes, that's it. It's participant voting, no judges involved, and we just lay back and enjoy ourselves.
So Paul, what can we expect to see here today?
Oh, we have all types of different varieties of cars. We have them from the 30s, 40s, 50s. We have Avantis, different pickup trucks from all different eras. Just a variety of Studebakers.
Well, hey, listen, speaking of pickup trucks, I saw yours, and I'd like to show that to our audience.
Let's go.
We start there.
Let's go.
All right. So tell us about what you have.
This is a 1962 Champ. In 1959, Studebaker had been using the same basic pickup for 10 years, and they needed a new pickup. They didn't have any money to invest, so what they did, they took a basic 1949 frame, they took a car body, cut it in half, welded a panel on the back, and set it on the truck frame, and then they needed a bed for the truck, and they didn't have money for development. So they went to Dodge and they paid $100,000 for all of the tooling for these beds.
How many of these do you think are around?
I don't believe there's very many. They only made like 7,000 a year. And most of them were work trucks, and they just got run right into the ground.
What made you go after this one?
Uniqueness. It's a custom cab, and it's pretty well optioned out for this year.
Well, tell me about what's under the hood.
It's a 289 Studebaker engine, 4-barrel carburetor. It's got a three-speed transmission with an overdrive, and it's got a twin traction rear end, which is a posse.
You got a nice cover there on the bed. It really makes the truck really look nice. And your interior has been replaced since new.
Yes, it has.
Paul, I can't wait to get going and see what you have here.
Okay, great. I'll catch up to you later, though.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Hey.
Now I'm here with David Dow from Heartland, Vermont, with a Maine patrol car.
Right.
Now, how does that happen?
Well, it just happened that I found this from a friend about 15, 20 years ago, and I bought it mostly for the engine and transmission. It had a R1 engine with a 4-speed, and then I found out that they only made 30 of these, and so I decided I should restore it.
So this is a 1964. Was it an actual police service?
Yeah, I have a build order that shows it was built for Maine State Police. Yeah.
So did you restore it? What kind of work did you do?
Everything. I had to do a lot to it. Total restoration. Yeah.
So what makes this thing so special?
I guess basically because they only made 30, and they only made 2 with 4 speeds. This is one of the 4 speeds. The rest of them are automatics. So it's a little rare.
So this is actually Avanti powered, right?
Yes, it's got the Avanti R.
It's the same that you see in an Avanti.
Avanti R1 with a 4-speed.
And the interior is just a basic police package.
Yeah, it has the built-in roll bar on the that was stock on these, and the seat is a little different on the police cars. Yeah.
Well, it's really a unique automobile. It's the first one I've ever seen, and I want to thank you for sharing it with me.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Now I'm here with Rick Coughlin from Rochester, New Hampshire, a 1953 Studebaker Starliner Commander. That's a long name.
That is, yeah. They made a lot of models back then.
Well, this truly has an early 50s look to it.
They wanted to come out with, in 1952, with a radical design for their 100th anniversary, but they were a little bit late, so their new radical design came out in 1953.
Kind of a year late, but it's a beautiful automobile. I don't see many of these around. Matter of fact, it's the first one I've seen.
I don't see many of them around either. Yeah, I was fortunate to find this.
Well, tell us about the styling.
The styling has what they call the European look on it, and they've tried to make it much more aerodynamic.
Let's talk about the color. It's beautiful.
This is what they call coral red. Yeah.
And what did you do with the interior?
This was restored by the person that owned it before.
Was it restored back to original? The colors in terms of colors
yes,
and
it
materials
was.
that were used?
Yes, it was. Yeah, they could not find the original seating. You cannot get that for upholstery.
Under the hood.
It has the 232 V8 engine, small V8, 120 horsepower. So it's not like some of these other Hawks and cars that really can run.
Now, this Hawk, were you looking for this particular model when you were out there shopping for automobiles?
You know, interestingly enough, I had a list of about 10 different models of Studebakers I wanted, and this was on the top of my list. And one day I was driving a couple miles from my house in the same village, and there it was for sale, with a for sale sign in the window. So,
how lucky are you?
I know, incredible.
Well, thanks for sharing the automobile with me.
You're welcome.
When we come back, a lot more Cruisin' New England right here in Portland, Maine.
This episode of Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette is brought to you by McMulkin Corvette, where there is always 250 Corvettes to choose from.
Order a bunch of parts to get ready for the car show this weekend?
And I got a hot deal, too.
You think? Think again.
Oh, man.
Tired of back orders? You need NPD. With 4 strategically located superstores, most orders arrive within 1 to 3 business days. National Parts Depot has quality restoration parts for Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle, GTO, Firebird, Ford, and Chevy truck. For your free catalog, go online or call toll-free.
Do you have a child with food allergies? Does your school need help managing food allergies? I'm Gina Minette-Lee, a nationally recognized food allergy author, educator, and consultant. I provide a common-sense, fact-based approach to managing food allergies at home and at school. For more information, visit foodallergyconsulting.com.
We're the Hill family, and we are Imperial Worldwide. We are the largest insulation supplier in Central Mass. We specialize in insulation, vinyl siding, seamless gutters, and closet-made shelving. And we are going to save you money. We're the Hills!
I'm Lieutenant Gary Scott. Green Mountain State has beautiful sights for all to enjoy. To protect our great state, Vermont will not tolerate drug driving. Drug recognition experts are being deployed statewide to keep our roads safe. If you get high and drive, you will be arrested for DUI.
Your special moments are something to remember. For weddings, portraits, and special events, contact Sparks Fly Photography.
Would you like more information about the Cruisin New England Car Show series? Go to our website at cruisennewengland.com.
Celebrate the Big E's 100th anniversary, September 16th to October 2nd in West Springfield, Massachusetts.
So we're back at the Studebaker Northeast Zone meet here in Portland, Maine. And you have a very special car that you're going to show me.
Yes, this is the owner, Dick Hall.
Dick, nice to meet you.
The owner of this beautiful Rockney.
Hey, Dick, what do you mean by Rockney?
Rockney is named after Newt Rockney, the football coach of Notre Dame. He worked for Studebaker Summers, and he was retiring and going to go full-time for Studebaker, and he left to have a movie taken and got killed in an airplane crash 1931. So he never saw this car made.
Now, Dick, this is a very rare automobile.
Yes,
there aren't many of these that exist.
There's less than 10 in the world.
Well, tell me about what's under the hood in this one.
I get arguments on that. I think it's a Continental engine because when they made it for Willys Overland, it had an engine. But they used this engine in Studebaker for 27 years. One of the longest running one.
And you also have a beautiful interior.
Yes. That was done 25 years ago.
It looks brand new.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, it's a wonderful automobile.
Yes.
There's a lot of history to it.
Yes, it does.
Thanks for sharing it with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Now I'm here with Paul DeRozier from Northborough, Massachusetts. What did you bring here with us?
41 Studebaker Champ Coupe. Low mileage original car. It's got about 52,000 miles on it.
Now this is definitely all stock.
This is all stock.
Now, did you buy it the way it looks?
Pretty much. I've cleaned it up a little bit, did a little minor repairs, but pretty much original. I'm going to try and keep it original.
Well, tell us about what you have under the hood.
It's got a small 6-cylinder engine, 169 cubic inches, low horsepower, 3-speed with an overdrive, so it travels at highway speed without too much trouble.
And it gets pretty good gas mileage, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, did you do anything with the interior, or is it original?
Original interior.
But that's pretty tough, man, to have an original interior from, for being that old. Well, you enjoy it, I can tell.
We do a lot of driving in it.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
All right, thanks very much.
You're welcome. Now we're here with Bill Jarvis, all the way from New Brunswick, Canada. And what you bring with you today?
I brought a 1947 Studebaker Champion four-door sedan.
So when you look at this automobile, I look at a family vehicle with this.
Yes.
Because you got the 4 doors and it's pretty roomy in there.
It's actually a 6-passenger car. My wife and I have 4 children, and we have 6 sets of seat belts from the days when the kids were home and traveling with us.
Now, how long have you owned this automobile?
42 years.
42 years?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
40 years in another couple of weeks.
So now the question is, you've been married to this car longer than your wife.
I was driving this car the night I met my wife.
Well, I guess everything worked out, didn't it?
And she figures as long as I have the car, she has job security.
Awesome. Okay, what do we have under the hood in this car?
We have a 6-cylinder, 170 cubic inch, 80 horsepower engine. It's the original engine. Under the hood is maybe not pretty, but it is as original as I can keep it and works very well.
I got to tell you something. The dashboard on this thing is gorgeous.
Yes, that big strip of chrome across, though, when you're facing into the sun, it is not fun in the eyes. But yes, it is a very pretty car inside.
And how about even the steering wheel's beautiful?
Yeah.
Awesome vehicle. Thanks for showing it to me today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Now I'm here with Leon Lafrenia, and he's brought a 1948 Studebaker pickup truck.
I did.
Well, tell us about it.
Well, it's about 2.5 years into my part of the restoration. We finally got it to a point where this is our maiden voyage this weekend. So.
Well, what kind of work did you do on it?
We basically took it from nut and bolt restoration.
So it was
took it from the chassis.
Off?
Yes, frame off. Yeah.
Well, I can see that the interior is beautiful.
Yeah, that's completely stock. Yeah.
Now, what do you have under the hood on this?
It's a 169 cubic inch L-head 6 original engine, 90 horsepower approximately. And
did you rebuild it?
I did not. It runs really good. I just freshened it up a little bit and seems to be going pretty good so far.
So Leon, I got a chance to see it on its maiden voyage.
You did.
Well, thank you so much for sharing it with me today.
No problem.
Still ahead on Cruisin' New England. We're back in Portland, Maine at the Studebaker Northeast Zone event. I'm here with Jamie Cardello. Jamie, this is a 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk. What's the difference between a Golden Hawk and a regular Hawk?
Well, in 1956, there were 4 different types of Hawk. There was a Skyhawk, Power Hawk, Flight Hawk, and a Golden Hawk. Golden Hawk was the top of the line of the Hawk series. They only had those 4 designations for 1 year, 1956. This was the top of the line version, and this vehicle came with a 352 Packard engine and a Packard Ultramatic transmission.
Now, this was the only one that had a Packard motor in it, right?
Correct. Because after 1956, Packard stopped making engines, and in order to get up to the 275 horsepower that this put out, they put a 289 Studebaker V8 with a supercharger to get it up to the 275 for the subsequent Golden Hawk.
So this really moves on the road, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Kind of a sports car feel to it.
Yeah, it was this car, the engine here is made for a car up to about 900 pounds heavier, so it was essentially a muscle car before there were muscle cars.
So here we have a 1956 modified Golden Hawk.
Yes.
It's a beautiful car and it gets a lot of attention.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for sharing it with me.
You're welcome.
Now we're here with Bob Gray and his son Gareth from Sterling, Massachusetts. You've brought a pretty special car with you today. This is a 64 Hawk.
Yes, it is.
But it's a special Hawk.
Yes, it's the last of the line. They made about a little over 1,700 of these cars. It's the last Studebaker model with the Studebaker engine in it.
So Gran Turismo, why is that there?
It's a GT. It was designed after a European. It was supposed to be a European style car.
Now, it's the only one I've seen with a vinyl top on it.
Yes, the 63 and 62 did not come with the half vinyl. The roof is designed after a Lincoln of that era.
Now, what do you have under the hood?
It's got a 289, Studebaker 289. This would be the last year for the Studebaker engines. The following 2 years would have gone to a Chevy engine.
So this is the last of the goodies, I would say, because a lot of people didn't like that Chevy engine.
Don't like the Chevy engine, no.
Well, the interior is beautiful. Tell us about the interior.
The interior is, it's got 2 front bucket seats. It's a vinyl blue.
Big question I have for you here is I'm hoping and praying that this car moves along in your family to keep the history of the Studebaker going.
Yeah, and it will. This is my son Gareth, and someday it will be his car.
Now, you also have another son.
I do. I have another son, Miles.
So Gareth, you want to drive this someday?
Yeah.
You going to share it with your brother?
No.
No, I tell you, you're going to have to buy another one.
I think so.
Thanks for sharing it with me today.
Thank you.
Now I'm here with Bob Hugo, and today he's brought a 1963 Lac Daytona.
Right.
Give us an overview of the car.
It's 1963. I bought it 4 years ago. It came from Kansas. It had an aftermarket air conditioner on it. I took that off and put the supercharger on it, and rides and goes pretty good.
So Bob, tell us what you have under the hood.
It's a Studebaker 289. I added a supercharger on it, brought the horsepower up to about 240 horsepower. Stock is about 225.
What about the interior? Is this an original interior?
That's an original interior, yeah.
It kind of looks modified, the interior. It's so pretty.
Well, yeah, it was in good shape, when they restored it, I guess,
So what about this paint?
That's called Sunset Red, and it's a two-step process where they put a gold underneath and a red on top.
So that's something they didn't do with this car. This is custom. This is what you wanted.
Right, yeah. It's not the stock color. Studebaker didn't have this color, Sunset Red, at that time,
So how are you received at these zone meets with coming in with something that doesn't have an original look to it?
It does pretty good. It's not an original car, so it's a little modified here and there. But it goes good and it runs good. So.
Well, when I saw it, I wanted to see it, and I'm hoping later on you'll take me for a ride in it.
Sure.
When we come back, folks, a lot more Studebakers right here in Portland, Maine, on Cruisin' New England.
When you're visiting Vermont, never drive while distracted or impaired, and always remember to buckle up. That's the best way to ensure everyone gets home safely.
Make it McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume new Corvette dealership.
While cruising New England, check out McMulkin, where there's always 250 new Corvettes to choose from. And a large selection of rare vintage classics, like this 1967 427 Tri-Power Corvette, or this classic 1969 Z28 Camaro, to a 1962 340 horsepower Corvette. Check them out at McMulkin.net.
The Thompson Auto Group.
Imperial Worldwide insulation vinyl siding, copper and seamless aluminum gutters, closet-made shelving systems, and zero-clearance fireplaces. We strive to make the building process easy and fun.
Check out Cruisin' New England Productions' website. You'll see updated information about our fun car show series, including the Magical Mystery Cruise, the Circle of Champions, the Super Wheel Showdown, and the Spooktacular Cruisin' Classic. Also subscribe to Cruisin' New England magazine. We feature some of the hottest rides in the Northeast, along with event listings and a whole lot more. Don't miss a single issue. And if you want more information about sponsorships, advertising, or personal appearances by Paul Manette, email us at cruisenewengland@aol.com.
Building Maintenance Services. We've been servicing the Northeast since 1990. We service and repair revolving doors, automatic and handicap doors. We can help you design an attractive, efficient entrance you can be proud of. Protect your investment and secure your property with yearly maintenance contracts and 24-hour service. Whether in office, medical, or commercial high-rise, we'll get the job done right for you. Building Maintenance Services.
Do you have a vintage car, boat, motorcycle, or airplane collection, along with some memorabilia? Would you like to be featured on our show? Email us at cruisenewengland@aol.com.
Guys, this is just a perfect day. And this is just the coolest little convertible to be cruising around Maine in. Guys, it just doesn't get any better than this. Now I'm here with David Killam, and you have quite a vehicle here. Tell us about it.
Well, it's a 1931 Studebaker Dictator. It's one of 234 that was built in Canada that year.
Now, you're from Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Now, did you trailer this here?
Yes, I did, yeah. Too far to drive an old car.
Do you drive it a lot up in Nova Scotia?
I do a fair bit, yeah. I go an hour and a half to 2 hour drives through car shows.
Now, did you do any restoration work yourself on this?
Frame off, stripped all the paint, redid everything.
How long ago?
About 6 years ago, yeah.
Now, what do you have under the hood?
In 31, the Studebaker Dictators all had a straight 8 engine, and it's a flathead, about 80 horsepower. 221 cubic inch.
It's a beautiful car and it gets a lot of attention. Thanks for sharing it with me today.
Thank you.
Now I'm here with Lee Carpenter from Williston, Vermont, and you've brought a pretty special automobile with us here today.
Thank you. Yes, 1957 Packard Clipper. It is completely original and unrestored.
Lee, what's a Packard doing at a Studebaker show?
Well, this actually is a Studebaker Packard. It's a Packard Clipper. The body, chassis, running gear, all the mechanicals on this car are Studebaker, very similar to this car. This car, the President actually shares the same body, the windshield, front and rear glass, pretty much all the same.
Now it's a 1957.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what are the slight differences between the two vehicles that we hear?
This car being the Highline car, came with this interior trim only in the sedans, this cloth. The motor is a 289 cubic inch V8 with a supercharger. That was standard equipment on this car. So that made it 275 horsepower, so it set this car apart from the other Studebakers.
Lee, your wife actually brought a Studebaker today.
Yes, you did.
Well, let's have a look at it.
All right. And here it is. It's my wife, Jerry.
Hello.
Well, it's the first Studebaker I've ever seen that looks like this. This is actually a goat wagon, isn't it?
This is a Studebaker goat wagon. I won it as the raffle at the 2002 International Studebaker meet out in South Bend, Indiana.
They're awesome wagons. They're very highly collectible. This was built especially for that show, so I think it's pretty valuable. You're lucky to win it.
Yes, I'm very happy to win it.
Lee, thanks for sharing the automobile with me.
Yes, sir.
And you, that goat wagon is awesome.
Thank you.
Now I'm here with Ryan Tedderrusski, the new generation of the Studebaker collectors. Now you have a 58 President here with you today.
Yes, sir.
What made you get involved in it? Usually you don't see young guys driving around in Studebakers.
I was born and raised in South Bend, Indiana. My father was into the cars and kind of just grew from there.
How do your friends feel about you cruising around town in an old Studebaker?
Well, there are plenty of guys my age that are into classic cars, yes, but not necessarily Studebakers.
Right. You know, there's some pretty unique features on this car. Right off the bat, you notice the front lights.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
Well, starting in '56, when they went to the longer look, they stamped a new fender. But by '58, quad headlights was all the rage. Everybody had to have 4 headlights in the front of their car. Studebaker, in an effort to catch up with the trend, decided to build a pod that would just fit on the '56 fender to cut back on tooling for the new fenders.
So actually, this was an add-on.
This is an add-on to the '56 fender.
This color is beautiful. Tell me what the official color is on this.
It is a surf green on white. The surf green is by far its biggest attraction. People do love this color.
How about under the hood?
Under the hood is a 289 V8, an automatic transmission. There's been a little bit of glamorization on the repainting for valve covers and the air cleaner, but for the most part, it's original too.
Now, is this something you're going to pass along in your family?
Oh yes, no, this is a lifelong car.
Well, I hope you pass it on, and thanks for sharing the story and your memories with me.
Thank you.
So now I'm here with Doug Peeler. He's here from Heartland, Vermont, and he's taken this classic car hobby to another direction. He's got his whole family involved. How come?
My daughter, who just for some reason fell in love with a car, has decided that she's going to take it to high school.
So you mean this daughter wants to take it to high school?
That's the plan.
So Nora, is that true?
Yes.
Do you love this car?
Yes.
Are you going to ever let your brother take it for a ride?
No.
Will you give him a ride?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
When I first got it, it had 2 pastel colors. It was a mocha and a doeskin. And the paint was really faded, and I wasn't particularly crazy about the color. It was hard to change it, because it was only going to be that way once.
So Doug, tell me what you have under the hood.
Well, we have a Studebaker 289 with a 4-barrel.
Well, you've done a great job with it. What's really nice about this is that you're getting your family involved in this hobby. So Doug, thanks for sharing your memories with us and your family.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I want to thank Bob for taking me around Portland in this beautiful Studebaker convertible. And Paul, you did a wonderful job on the Studebaker show. I'm Paul Manette. Until next time, I'll be cruising New England.